G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing in the color teal as the Rus. We've got Ghost. And in the north of the map, playing as the English on the color orange, it's I Try Stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. We've got two of the world's best players going up against each other right now. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes because we've got an English game, and as you guys know, I am now an English main. So obviously, I always look forward to seeing exactly what our English players are up to, and we already see an interesting deviation from the norm. It's I Try Stuff going for a second scout, so looking to try and deny away some of that bounty from the Rus player, looking to try and catch a little bit more sheep than what is normal, but it looks like it's going to be an early pickup here, grabbing both hunts, so I Try Stuff going to be very happy with that. We'll check out how, on the other side of the map, how we've got our Rus player doing. Just the single scout opening at the moment. Where is the lumber? Oh my god. Okay, all right, okay. We've got ourselves a gamer, ladies and gentlemen. I am incredibly excited to see what is going on right now, and I'm sure some of you Rus mains out there, maybe even you non-Rus mains, are going to know exactly what's going on. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I think this is a never-before-seen tactic used by Ghost. This is kind of wild, right? And it makes a lot of sense, just simply because there's a couple of things, right? Like, obviously, you're giving up... let me explain. Ghost is going to be making a hunting cabin in the middle of the forest. On both of these forests. He can actually go a little bit further. I wonder how much of this he can see. Yeah, he probably can't see it, so he thinks that this is, like, in the center. So he still doesn't have it perfect. Could go in a little bit further. This is really interesting because these are expensive, right? Like, you're paying 100 wood for these bad boys. So that's 200 wood straight up, but it means that he's not going to have to gather gold. Obviously, he never really had to gather gold anyway because of the bounty. In fact, he did actually leave one deer over here. But yeah, it's a trade-off, right? Like, because you're giving up bounty, but at the same time, you're going to be securing a lot greater gold income. I'm gonna guess off the top, like maybe 48, 49. 45. All right, 45 starts the scout. So that is an absolute insane amount of gold to be generating. Normally, if you're generating like 28, 29, that's pretty good. But you're going 50% above that. Over here, we're on 41. I tell you what, like what happens if you go all the way to the middle? I mean, Ghost might be in early stages of this, not really know where the center is. His age up's going to be a little bit delayed because of it, right? Like, if we take a look at this, he's going for a second house already. Probably doesn't need the second house just yet, but might be looking to invest a bit more heavily in scout. Second scout is out. Going to be able to find that hunt in the back of his base, but already his bounty. Let's take a look and see. He's not yet got that, got the upgrade on the bounty because you don't see the glow yet. So he hasn't yet crossed that 100 threshold. I think it was 60. And then we could actually have calculated it, but he's now started killing. So I think we do have that glow now. So yeah, he's got the 100 bounty. He's only just gone over it. So it's going to take him some time to actually max out his bounty. So in saying that, I would suspect that what he looks to do is go for a fast castle, but into the high trade house. But he's going to need to place the high trade house somewhere that isn't in this vicinity, right? Like, if you were going to do it, you'd have to place it like over here, right? You'd kind of need to expand out a bit more, and you don't have access to a really safe third forest. Like, we take a look on the north side, I Try Stuff has got that option, but I guess he can always just look to push out, chop through, drop the hunting cabin, and then you could even just wall off the entrance so your enemy can't get through to destroy the hunting cabin. You could even wall it twice. Like, it would make a lot of sense, but he hasn't gone super far in here. I wonder if this is just because he wants a bit more speed on it, right? Like, you could chop through all the way easily, but you got to chop out the place for it as well. You got to remember, so it's not just super easy. But I tell you what, we got to get this bad boy on the thumbnail right now. I think I'm going to take this off. Well, this one's coming in on the thumbnail. Look at that. This is next level Rus strategies right here. Let's take a look over on that north side though. See how we're going. It looks like had a little bit of a scout trade off. Maybe trading out for a wolf or two. And we do have I Try Stuff, who's going to be dropping down the council hall with a rack so early on, moving into that. And interestingly, we've got no gold in the bank, so this looks to be a very heavy feudal focus. The other thing to note is he's got the stone in the front, so could be looking for a second TC, but I wouldn't be surprised to see just a couple of units thrown out here before moving into castle. And there was the second TC, or at least the mining camp being placed down outside the stone outcropping. On the other side of the map, of course, the Kremlin. It is out. It is about. We see more scouts joining on the field. Is there a potential for a professional scouts? Oh, there you go. I've answered my own question. Professional scouts is already coming through. So is that... Oh, look at this. We're already up to 50 gold, 46 gold. So he's got, sitting on right now, 96 gold a minute just from these 2 hunting cabins, using the gold that's generated to get professional scouts. And then from the professional scouts, he's going to look to leverage that, I suspect, into a castle age, which makes a lot of sense. And remember, he's got double hunting cabin, which means he can make double scouts from this, get his scouts up a lot faster. Archery rangers coming in. So could be looking to defend. I think the best defense that you can make here against the English is just going for a very heavy English or a very heavy archer defense, because the archers, obviously the longbow is better than the archer in just heads up combat. But that's until the archer starts to outnumber the longbow. That's when it becomes an issue, because now the archer is stronger than the longbow, and the spearmen don't do anything. These guys are just foot soldiers who just get knocked out basically. So survival techniques comes through. We see that one picked up as well. So he's picked up both survival techniques and professional scouts off this double hunting cabin opening. I gotta say, I'm loving it. Brings in the first of the deer. Just playing it nice and simple, not looking to snipe away any of the deer of his enemy. Now, one of the things to note as well, I would be making sure I note this, is that you're playing against the English. The likelihood that an English player takes their deer, I would put it at like 8 or 20% likelihood, right? There's just a very high chance they're going to go for a second TC, put it safe in the base on the gold, and then put farms around it. But there are some English players who do like to take early deer. I've seen Beastie go for a second TC into a fast castle on the deer, and it looks like iTryStuff might be going for that as well. Looking to place it down. There's still 6 carcasses over here. Ville's moving out, so it looks like we do have that 1 in 5 chance of it happening. I've just pulled that number out of my butt, but obviously it's still, you get the point, right? Like, it's rarer that this kind of thing happens. And I'm curious, because obviously with the second town center going down, there is the chance that all the scouts come in and look to deny this. He knows that his enemy's got this professional scout, so he's going to be in a rush to try and get this up. I'm curious if he pulls more vills. It doesn't look like he's going to be. But first scout is on the way back. So one of the things that he could look to do is just try and deny, and we do see the scouts coming out. So what you can do is just pick up the deer 1, 2, 3 and pull them away over to the edge, and then go 1, 2, 3 and pick up other deer and then take them away. And that way you deny out all of this. But look at iTryStuff. He knows exactly what his opponent is going to be up to. He knows what Ghost is up to, and immediately looks to cover for it, making sure he comes back as soon as that professional scouts is out. You got to be careful here, iTryStuff. You got to be careful. There is the potential threat of looming scouts, and they might come in around this little angle. It's the perfect angle for it. So hopefully he's paying attention. Archers on the bot side might be potentially trying to draw away any longbowmen so that those scouts are going to be able to dive in. But we do see those scouts now moving towards the west side. It might just be that he says, you know what? I'm just going to play it safe. I don't need to deny that hunt. If you can keep that hunt, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to keep this food income coming in. Obviously, 3 hunts is better than 2, so he's going to be very happy. And remember, he's got that survival techniques, and it's stacking up with that additional bounty that he's got. So we can see right here, 100 bounty, 250 bounty, 500 bounty, up to a total of 15% food gather rate additional. So very nice. There's the second town center now coming out for Ghost as well. So interestingly, not going directly for that fast castle, instead looking for a second TC here. It looks like he's gathered up, well, he's obviously gathered up everything, because he still sits here with the Kremlin with 5 tickets. I don't even think we've said the name of the Kremlin this game, so there you go. He's got the Kremlin out. He's got the little bit of a stone road in front of him. I still haven't been able to explain that one, but I guess there it is. I guess maybe I've never had to explain this one, just simply because we've never seen the Kremlin before, so we've never noticed it. But I suspect it's probably been there the whole time. But now going to be moving out. So this will be the telltale sign of whether he hits that second tier bounty. Should rise from 50 up to about, what, 56? Something around that region. Let's see exactly how well he goes. Gets the kill. So I don't think he's crossed the 250 threshold. Either that or he is already across it. It's one of those two. But he will be looking for that second boar if he hasn't already. There he is. Look at that. His enemy's actually down on the boar. Kind of just chilling, waiting for it. He could always look to leash it with the scout, but just remember the boar's got a lot of armor. Oh, it looks like he might be doing it, but hold on a minute. We got the knight coming in. He does spot out the longbows here, and now going to be taking up quite a few shots there. We see 4 volleys coming off, and it's going to be an early knight that almost goes down. 3 health, and there's the boar getting pulled. You can see him really looking. He wants to make sure this boar is taken down. He's not going to be able to get the bounty over to his enemy, and that boar is indeed taken care of. There you go. So iTryStuff denying out some of that bounty. Makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look. He's still sitting at 50. 46 over on the other one. And now the question is, do we see Castle Ages coming through? And I see 6 vils on gold, and that to me points like to a Castle Age. Up to 8 vils now. So everyone just kind of playing a little bit slowly. And this is interesting, right? Like, I've seen this style coming out quite a bit from players where it's kind of like a semi-fast castle. And, you know, when it came to Age of Empires 3, I actually did a video before I was kind of accepted in the Age of Empires 3 community. So just to explain a little bit, obviously we got archers coming in, a bit of idle time coming through. But for anybody who doesn't know, when I started my YouTube channel, I kind of did that from nothing. I hadn't played Age of Empires at a competitive level for like, what was it, 12 years, something like that. But obviously I still had a lot of the skill that was kind of left over, a lot of the game knowledge. And so I just kind of came out of nowhere and just started posting videos. And at first people didn't really accept me. They're like, nah, this guy, he's a charlatan, don't believe him. But then slowly and steadily, I grew acceptance. And I think that really happened in a video that I posted, which was talking about the best strategy possible in Age of Empires 3. And that is called the semi-fast fortress. And basically the idea is that you want to go to Castle Age, or Fortress Age as it's called in Age of Empires 3, but you just want to make a couple of military units beforehand. And I'm starting to see a trend in Age of Empires 4 that emulates that, where it's just about getting up to Castle Age as quickly as possible, but at the same time, just getting out military units, whether it's to defend your enemy or to put on pressure, so to force them to make military, and then that way, and as we can see, Castle Age is coming through at about 11 minutes, so not that extended feudal fights. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to the rule. You know, we've seen the Beastie B series where we had 3 games back-to-back of 30-minute long feudal fights, and I think that in those hyper-aggressive matchups, there's always going to be your outliers, but for the most part, this seems to be following a pretty standard pattern. So I'm curious whether it will continue to trend that way or not. But on the south side, we do see Ghost now going to be looking to pick up the boar. Of course, we'll once again just check in. I mean, I don't think he's killed anymore. It's not really going to change until we see that hunting cabin coming out. That hunting cabin? Sorry, the what's it called? The High Trade House. Jeez, sometimes these landmarks, the name eludes me. But the age up about to come through for I Try Stuff, pushing out at a bit of a dangerous time right now. Just as the age up comes through, expect to see those upgrades coming through shortly. Not a lot of vills on gold, interestingly. Deciding to age up with the gold villages by the look of it. So probably not the right call. I would have been aging up with my my wood vills, but then obviously you've got to move them all the way from wood over to gold. So it's easier, right? Like, because then you cover the gold. But now you're in this awkward spot where you don't have any gold for your upgrades, right? Like you want to get your I mean, you'd like to get your wheelbarrow. You would like to get your veterancy on your longbowman. You probably want to get horticulture. These are all pretty good upgrades, especially when you're sitting on 55 vils. But I guess we're all different, aren't we? Now, just keep in mind, both of these players are really good players. So obviously I meme them, but at the same time, they're very good. They know what they're doing. They're professionals. Stand back. But yeah, I think I Try Stuff currently sitting at like rank 20 on the ladder, and Ghost, I think, top 30. So yeah, they're very, very similar in rating. Excuse my alarm right there. I'm not sure if you guys heard that. There was an alarm that went off, but I assure you it wasn't your alarm. It was my alarm that went off. But now interestingly, got walls coming up at the same time. And I Try Stuff has not scouted Ghost's walls, and Ghost hasn't scouted I Try Stuff's walls. So they both kind of sense like, all right, the Castle Age is coming through. The prospect of knights from the English is going to be relevant, so I've got to get these walls up. And we do see that High Trade House coming out. It was coming out in the middle of the map. It looks like he's cancelled it. Has he decided to change his mind on where he puts it? Doesn't. We hear it coming down. He goes Abbey of the Trinity. This is really interesting. I guess it makes sense in the fact that he's committed early with the hunting cabins, but then hasn't really looked to leverage them in any other way. Like, we haven't seen him eating into the forests down here or putting more hunting cabins up. So he's just kind of said, well, I'm just going to chill with just the 2 hunting cabins, and then we'll call it a day from that. So interesting decision. And this is kind of a smart decision as well, right? English pushing out. We can see the timing that he's got here is pretty impeccable, and now might have a little bit of trouble. The Abbey of the Trinity gets spotted out. We enter into the cinematic mode as it is time for us to get into battle before that feudal, or before that Castle Age upgrades start hitting through for our Rus player. Nice little micro coming in, able to pull those knights back, manages to take out 1 of the spearmen. 2 more do survive, and now those knights going to be heading back in, looking to try and tank up a bit of the damage there from the longbows, and you can see the archers just trading off, able to take out all 3 spears, and now going to be in a whole world of hurt. And that's until the English knight comes in and looking to take out some villagers here on the backside. At first Ville going to go down. Second Ville looking to be focused, but makes it back to the Kremlin in time. Plenty more archers reinforcing on this position. And it looks like it is going to be a hold coming out here from Ghost on the Rus. So very well played by him, but we do see those English Knights continuing to loom around. Let's bring that cinematic mode. Well, let's take that cinematic mode away and take a look at where those relics are, because I do hear relics being picked up, and I just don't know exactly who's picked them up. It actually looks like we might have relics being picked up on the north side somewhere. There's a monastery that's out for him. Yeah, so it's going to be the safe relic for I Try Stuff that gets picked up first. And of course, going to be looking to contest that Abbey of the Trinity. So well and truly aware of what his enemy is up to. And the question is just going to be whether he can deny those relics away. Interestingly, we also see the English player going for the boar. No survival techniques, despite that being 3,000 food, 2,000 food. Despite there being 2,350 food over here. Is it 2,350? Yeah. No, it can't be 2,350. Surely. 2,150? Hold on. 350, 700, 721, 2,450. That's the correct amount. So 2,450 worth of food on that hunt. Obviously minus the 350 from the deer that got stolen, because there was one deer that did get stolen. And now you've got yourself a monk who is making a very foreseeable, a very predictable run towards this relic on the east side. At the same time, we do hear more relics getting picked up towards the middle. The first one's going to be picked up by the warrior monk, so that's the first of the contested relics. Hold on a minute. Horse archer going to be coming out here. That'll be able to deal with it. But the knights in the center looking to try and cause a little bit of havoc. Relic does get picked up. Horse archer slowly but steadily taking it out, and the knights do indeed get caught in the middle here. He's going to be throwing away a couple of these. A little bit of a waste here. Obviously, does have the archers. They're not going to be doing a whole bunch of damage considering the armor on these knights. But still, you got to ask the question why he's really committing to this. It just doesn't seem like the right time to fight, especially with the horse archers in the rear. These guys do a lot more damage. 12 damage against the only 4 armor. So Relic does get taken down on the edge of the map. At the same time, Warrior Monk going to be losing it out over here. Now, remember, you're not going to be able to convert a Warrior Monk. So if he even goes for a Walla Lol here, which he may just as a kind of like a reaction, it's not going to do anything here. So he's just got to kind of cop the damage. The problem that he's going to have is that Warrior Monk's just going to pick up the relic straight away. So needs to move these knights over ASAP. Villagers underneath the outpost are going to get taken out, and those villagers get taken out very, very quickly. Up to 7 worker kills now. A couple units over here. Excuse me. Oh my lord, that's a huge mistake. He would have been able to take out that warrior monk, pick up the relic once these knights came in, able to hit the wall alone, maybe defend himself for a little bit longer, manages to keep that relic alive. So pretty well played by I Try Stuff there. But we do hear and that relic once again getting picked up over on the east side. So it is a very difficult fight right now that's going on, because you've got a fight on the main front, but then you've got these sub fights for the relics. So far, it's going to be 2 relics for I Try Stuff on the English and 3 relics for our Rus player, Ghost. Sacred Site's looking to be contested now. We move on to that phase of the game. Let's check in with Ghost and see how he's doing here as he adds in more hunting cabins, but these ones aren't going to be collecting gold, or at least looking to collect gold. Plenty of production on the backside. Blacksmith is down, looking for those upgrades. He's picking up +2 ranged armor here. We do see wedge rivets coming in. And also looking to pick up Saint's Blessing. No, Divine Light. I apologize. Divine Light going to be coming in, which will be increasing the duration of Saint's Blessing by 10 seconds. He's also got the option for Fervor, and Saint's Veneration. We do see a keep attempt from I Try Stuff. He tries it, but unfortunately, not going to be happening. More archers on the backside, horse archers as well teeing off here. Knights on the front side, and Ville's looking to help out with this fight. Continuing to push through. They want to make sure that that keep gets down. It's not going to be blocked out. This is definitely a little bit of an optimistic keep, and the villagers quickly going to get taken out. We can see how many there are, and indeed they're going to be losing their life. He needed to pull a few more vills if he wanted to get that one up, or just ideally not lose them in the first place. Trades them out. Remember, he's on 3 TC up against the 2 TC of his opponent, so he does have the ability to scale into the late game, and ideally, playing as the English, you're going to have a better late game than the Rus. So throwing away a couple of villagers like that to try and get this keep up might not necessarily be a bad idea, but there's still a window that is open here for our Rus player before we get to Imperial. As long as he's able to force the English player to commit and say, hey, you fight me in this castle age, and you don't go anywhere towards that Imperial age, then that's going to be okay. But if this keep does get up, that buys our English player quite a bit of time, and it looks like it will actually get up. So I Try Stuff trying the right thing. The question is going to be whether he tried with the right amount of villagers or whether he lost too many. We'll bring back in the UI and see how many he's lost. Up to 19 vills lost. Still ahead by 8, but remember that. Remember that he's got that extra town center, the King's Palace acting as a TC for him here. So up to 3 TCs in total. At the same time, we do see the 2 TCs for our Rus player. So at this point, you definitely have to give the favorable position over to I Try Stuff. The question for me is whether he's going to read what the Rus is doing. So for the Rus, obviously you can go late game, and that makes a lot of sense, especially when the keep is here. The problem that you're going to have is in the late game, the veteran longbows do so well against the Streltsy, and the Rus wants to spam the Streltsy, but they can't really do it against the English just because of the power of the longbows. They've got the extra range, they've got that high damage to go through, even just that +3 armor. And so the longbows are really effective, and of course you've got that added damage that's coming out from their network of citadels, and throw into that the special ability that they get, which makes their arrows go absolutely crazy. Yeah, I would hope that at this point, Ghost is looking to try and all-in I Try Stuff in the Castle Age. The question is going to be whether he's going to have enough units for it. And I Try Stuff, I mean, look at the amount of vills he's got. I apologize for keeping the village account up for that long. It should have been switched over to the resources at about 10 minutes. But there you go. He is making, or he's got a lot of resources. Only knights in queue for the moment, and we might have ourselves a little bit of a counterattack towards this northern position. So you'd love to see vills pulled from here and a wall come through, because he does have the time to do that. There's the wall. He's actually going to go for a stone wall. This is very, very ballsy. I don't know whether he's going to have the time to get this stone wall up, because once these knights break through, this wall's going to take some time. And the vills will get picked off by the horse archers. And oh my god, we got a counterattack coming. I didn't even see the counterattack. Meanwhile, this is happening. This is the game-winning move, though. The Rus has got the potential to have a game-winning move right there. As long as he pushed up, you need the knights to focus one section of the wall, and then the horse archers to focus the villagers on the backside. But the stone wall does get up. And now underneath the main town center of the Rus base, we've got ourselves a fight breaking out. Longbows beginning to push through. Any sign of siege? Doesn't look like it at this point. Hold on a minute. What was that? No, archery ranges. And still going to be looking to focus down some villages here under the TC. We do see militia getting called. Hold on a minute. How many militia do we have out here? He's got 12 tickets in the bank. Get him out there. Get him out. Spam those militia. He can't afford them. That's the thing. At the same time, we see a warrior monk going to be coming out looking to apply that Saint's Blessing. There it is. And the militia. How many militia has he got here? Look at the buffs on these bad boys. An extra 10 damage that's coming out. These guys do huge amounts of damage on the defense. Keep in mind, he's got 12 tickets ready to pop at any point in time. They're kind of like Minutemen. They just pop out, and he's able to repel on this front at the same time towards the north. The counterattack is coming. This is what the Rus is looking for, and look, you can see I Try Stuff was thinking about going Imperial, stacking up 2,000 food. This was the main issue that he would have if he looked to go Imperial. If he said, I'm not going to invest in units, or if I'm not going to invest in production, that's going to be the main issue that he's going to have. And you can see just how much damage these horse archers are able to do as long as they've got a front line, that being the knights. And the knights obviously able to do a really decent job of tanking up against the enemy knights. +2 ranged armor has come through, and Vill's going to be moving up towards this north side. Is he looking for a cheeky little keep right here? He's got 1,200 stone in the bank. He definitely well could be. He's not playing any others, or he doesn't have access to the stone walls, so I can tell you right now he's not thinking about those. Wall comes up. English on the defensive, but he walls himself out. The keep gets up, and now all of a sudden, the Rus, he's on the front foot. Back foot definitely going to be our English player here. He needs to find a way to defend. He needs to find a way to convert these resources into tangible units that are actually going to be usable. Obviously, spears would be great here. Spears obviously work very well against the knights and against the horse archers, and it works out to also be the resources that you need, but there's only a single barracks on the field right now. It was made at 4 minutes when he aged up. And now able to get this keep up. He's going to be able to use this to leverage trebuchets from and start working on these landmarks. Best case scenario, it's a 4-minute, 5-minute window here for the English to potentially defend. Needs to make sure he survives in that 5 minutes because once these... There's the siege workshop. Once the trebs come up, you're going to start losing out all of this position. Town center's gone. All these farms are gone. And you've got an enemy who's bypassed these stone walls. So that's going to be the next focus that you've got to be looking to address. So now if you're defending as the English, you want to be looking to try and get to Springolds, and you want to try and bring those Springolds up to here to snipe out the trebs. The problem's going to be whether you've got the space to do it. The numbers here looking really good for our Rus player. And once again, going to be looking to take out some villages. Bit of a counterattack over towards the east. A lot of vills here together with those knights. And English, there's the first treb already out, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we've got the English keep able to get those trebs out. And I like the angle that he's coming from here. The only issue that he's got is not a lot of coverage. And now more units running in towards the base of I Try Stuff. He's up to 45 workers, lost this game. And of course, Ghost is going to take the villager lead. up 7 vills, 10 vills. He's continuing to tank out more and more. This is not looking pretty at this point in time. At the same time, expands to the forward gold. Plenty of knights out here, but still, once again, those knights, all they're going to do is really break even against enemy knights. Consider also the fact that you've got horse archers to deal with, but smart move. Veteran longbow is going to be very effective against them. The problem you're going to have are the knights, so make sure you get those palings out. Where are those palings? Let me see him. Let me hear him. Not going to be the case. He doesn't actually go for the palings here. I tell you what, going for the palings might actually be the smart choice. The thing is, he's going to need to defend this position with the treb. It looks like all of his knights have dived in, and oh, it's going to be battering ram attack. I didn't expect a battering ram attack at all. This is a much different style of attack, and he definitely could have held an attack with battering rams. All he needed to really do was make some springalds, and they'll be able to deal with them slowly but steadily. Longbowman holding in the middle of the map, or in the middle of the base, up to 68 worker kills. I tell you what, that's one away from being a nice amount. But look at this. We've got these knights just taking down the keep. This is a ballsy move coming out from I Try Stuff, but I can't help but feel like you are anchoring to this keep. Like this keep is your mortal enemy, your sworn enemy. But that's not doing you damage. What's doing you damage right now is your loss of vills. You're down 97 to 97 vills. You should be sitting on 140 right now as English. You should be Imperial. You should be having a great time. And I think the question needs to be begged whether this keep was too far forward. Maybe this keep a little bit closer to the back line or on the front side here could have helped defend or be used as an anchoring point. But just being so far away out the front, I can't help but feel like you've just opened yourself up to these potential attacks from all over the map. And now we see the English player expanding out towards that east side. Keep going to be going down. Really solid keep here. I'd love to see... Oh, okay. So the keep did stay alive for Ghost. As the suspicions were, he's up about 25 military population, and this is the perfect timing, right? Like Ghost has just absolutely nailed this. He recognized we got to go before Imperial. We can't let him get there. Just non-stop aggression, non-stop attacks coming in. Tries to get that keep up to stay alive a little bit longer, but of course that keep was denied. Second keep going to be followed up from Ghost here. I love the fact that he's making these battering rams. Battering rams, I tell you what, battering rams are such a great unit because it's kind of like set and forget. You don't have to think too much about them. You just rally them to the enemy base and make 6 of them, and you're just like, yep, you guys do your things. Trebuchets, it's like, oh, the enemy's killing them, pull them back, watch out for the springalds, move them forward, and good game gets called. Ghost going to be victorious here with a beautiful hunting cabin opening. The double hunting cabin sunk away or snuck away inside those forests. Fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. Make sure you enjoy it. I don't know what to say. Fellas, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.